All right, we're going to get back now to New York Congresswoman Claudia Tenney, who joins us now talking about her trip to the border. Congresswoman, thank you so much for coming on. Good to see you.
Thank you. Good to be on.
So we just saw, we watched this press conference today with these 18 senators. It was so powerful. You
Yes.
just went to El Paso. You were briefed by border agents there. What can you tell us about your experience?
Yeah, it was quite an interesting experience. Obviously, El Paso is not quite as extreme as the situation going on in the Rio Grande Valley, which is the southern sector, but is the second most devastating area on the border, the second most porous area.
Yeah.
And we had an opportunity to see the border wall, the lack of wall being completed because of the lack of funding. And then we also got to see a youth detainment center and an area where they're processing youth. And it was quite something to see this. So it was really incredible. Yeah,
and you mentioned that there was piles of steel for the border wall that can't be installed, and I think because Democrats did such an effective job of making it sound like a wall is fascist and racist and everything like that, it probably never will be. But how close is it to being completed in that area that you were in?
Well, what's terrible is there are areas where it has been completed, but unfortunately, you see areas where the old wall has had to be put back up by the border agents themselves just to have some kind of border. Now, understand what they explained to me clearly is a border wall is not a total deterrent. What it does is slows down people in huge numbers coming across the border. And at this point, compared to last year, it's a 170% increase. Thanks to the policies of the Biden administration, by doing an executive order, by executive edict, stopping construction and completion of the wall, going back to catch and release, encouraging and incentivizing people to come to the border. It's been really tragic when you hear from them. But I don't know, they're desperate to have that border wall completed and also to have the technology that goes with it and the resources to be able to deal with this dramatic humanitarian overflow and crisis with children at the border.
Yeah, I hope at some point we can start getting that thing back up, because this has really just become a joke. Senator James Lankford of Oklahoma describing what stopping border construction looks like today. Take a listen.
To be able to come and see this wall under construction and to see what wall construction stopping really looks like. Open gates with no power on it, so farmers can't come back and forth. Open gates where they have to actually station somebody from the Border Patrol just to be able to sit at that gate. Haven't put in the technology, no cameras, no lights, no ground sensing technology.
He talks about the lack of technology there. We just heard that potentially this was, that what Biden did was illegal to stop the construction of this. And I'm sure you heard some of that story too. Do you think there's a chance that we get back to building this wall?
Well, hopefully there's a lawsuit that will we'll find some justice for the laws that were put in place by the people and by their elected representatives, and not through executive edict by President Biden. Their lawsuit hopefully will continue, and we'll win that in court, and we can continue the construction. The border wallers, they like to call it a barrier, is just a tool. But when you see the crisis at the border, and it is a crisis, they're afraid of the word, these children are coming across in such dire conditions. And I have to say that my impression of what the Border Patrol is doing is nothing less than heroic. What they're doing to try to make these lives for these children as normal as possible, in as clean facilities as they can provide, with nutrition, with a place to sleep, and with security. They really should be protecting our border, and they're relying on Health and Human Services and other non-government organizations to provide the rest of the relief. But these children have nowhere to go. And it's tragic that these human smugglers are bringing them across, and we're aiding and abetting this horrible crime that is happening right at our southern border.
And they're being set up to fail by a bunch of foolish politicians that are just trying to pander or do whatever else they're trying to do. New York Congressman Claudia Tenney.
I couldn't say it better.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you.
Thanks for going to the border and actually caring about these issues too. Good to see you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.